Oh yes, folks, it's the WC here with the reaction video to Super Bowl 51, where the Atlanta Falcons come up short to Tom Brady and the New England Patriots. I think it's safe to say that the New England Patriots are the dynasty probably of my lifetime. It just is what it is. But enough about the Patriots. This video is not about the Patriots. I'll post another video about the Patriots. I'm pretty sure is either you guys have seen that video by now or whatever. I don't know how I'm going to do this. But this video right here is for why the Atlanta Falcons lost Super Bowl 51. All right. And I'm all about trends. You know what I'm saying? I'm big into daily fantasy. So I'm all about trends. Trends always repeat themselves. There's certain trends that, you know, that don't necessarily stick, but this trend right here is the reason why the Atlanta Falcons lost Super Bowl 51. As you can see on the screen, this is Super Bowl. This is what SportsCenter put out, okay? This is what SportsCenter put out. This is since 2000. All the guys that have won the MVP, league MVP, and appeared in the Super Bowl and then lost. All right, you go back to 2001 with Kurt Warner and that magical season, the greatest show on turf. Marshall Faulk, Torrey Holt, Isaac Bruce, and that unstoppable now St. Louis Rams offense. And you've seen what happened with them. All right, they lost to the Patriots. You got Rich Gannon in 2002. Rich Gannon had a season for the ages. I mean, it was amazing. All right. They lost to the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. If I get any of these teams that they lost to wrong, please correct me down in the comments if you want to. I don't mind. I don't mind taking the L on that. Okay. They lost to Tampa. John Gruden on those boys. Sean Alexander, who just kind of ran past and through everybody in 2006. They faced off against the Pittsburgh Steelers in the Super Bowl. They lost that game. Okay. Tom Brady and the infamous helmet catch for the Giants in 2007. I thought that these guys, I was hoping that the Brady, you know, this is one of the rare times in which I actually hope that Brady had won a game, because you hear the 72 Dolphins popping champagne. You know, this was the team with Tom Brady and Randy Moss, if you guys don't remember. Okay. And they lost that game. They were basically the closest to, you know, going 19-0, but they didn't get there. Okay. Peyton Manning in 2009 against the Saints. And at that time, the Saints were basically America's team. If you want to go there, I think that they were America's team. And then you got Peyton Manning again in 2013. Doesn't really seem all that far removed that Peyton Manning was like league MVP caliber quarterback. And in 2013, the Broncos lost to the Legion of Boom, the Seattle Seahawks. All right, let me get my screensaver off real quick. Okay, all right, good. And then you got just last year with Cam Newton and that orange crush defense for the Denver Broncos, who basically confused Cam, and Cam couldn't get in any rhythm. He was missing targets and all that good stuff. And then you got Matt Ryan. Now, will Matt Ryan suffer the same fate? I'm pretty sure that people were asking that going into this game. Now, there's a question mark. We already know what the answer is. But, you know, given the overall critique, looking back at the Super Bowl and the way that Matt Ryan played, I mean, it's just depressing almost if you're an Atlanta fan. You know, it's good for the future. If you really think about it, it's good for the future for him to have that experience. But this is the reason why they lost. All right. I believe in uncomfortable trends like this, and we didn't know anything about this until Saturday night when they announced him as the AP Player of the Year, MVP. So this is hard, solid truth right here, that when your team has the league MVP, at least over the last 8 times, they're probably going to lose. All right, so for all y'all Atlanta fans out there that want to wonder what happened and all this other stuff, this is what happened. You know, I also believe in the Madden curse. If I can go over the Madden curse real quick, look at what happened to Gronkowski this year. I mean, you know what I'm saying? And the Patriots was still able to win the Super Bowl, but he had nothing to do with it. You know, I think that during the playoffs, the Madden people were promoting Antonio Brown and him on stage dancing. These clowns didn't even get, these clowns, as soon as the Super Bowl came around, they were starting to promote their commercial. What happened to them? Antonio Brown gets on Facebook Live and does one of the stupidest things. So I think that there's a Madden curse there when it comes to, you know, players. And, you know, Adrian Peterson, I think a couple years ago, was on the cover of Madden, got hurt. I mean, you know, I believe in sports curses. I believe in sports curses. And this is gotta be it, man. This has got to be it. We've seen it just last year with Cam Newton. So let me know how you guys feel. I'm pretty sure that there's a lot of angry Atlanta fans out there that feel as though that this had nothing to do with the final game result. Okay, keep thinking that. Keep thinking that. You know, if if anything, I'm gonna tell you like this. Matt Ryan had a really good season. You know what I'm saying? And it's like you have to measure the MVP trophy based off of if you take that player out. Do they even do anything? All right. When you look at the Patriots now, all right, and this is something that might piss off the Patriots fans because they just won the Super Bowl, right? But you took Tom Brady off of that team, and that team was still like 4-0. They were still 5-0 this year. All right, if I'm not correct. All right. So you take Matt Ryan off of that team, you take any of these players off of their respective teams during their year, they're probably not that great. All right, they're probably middle of the pack. And you can say that Matt Ryan, you take Matt Ryan off of that Atlanta squad for this season, the 2016-17 season, you know, you take him off of there and they probably finish, you know, 8-8, maybe 9-7, maybe they squeak into the playoffs. But this just kind of shows you that you really don't want to win the MVP trophy before the Super Bowl. I mean, unanimous. It was almost a unanimous choice to make Matt Ryan league MVP. So let me know how you guys feel. It's a Super Bowl fallout video. It's a WC. And until next time, folks, peace out.